recently that internet theory has started getting some mainstream attention with a mention in The Atlantic. The crux of the theory is that activity by bots or AI has become so prevalent that it's almost impossible for normal people to connect with normal people on the internet. Aimed as a conspiracy theory, the truth of the situation is that the demands of marketing, you can blame advertisements for this, have just driven the developments of bots to the point where you can have influencers, you can have influencer culture, but amplifying every marketing message is a fuck ton of automation. And this is true for both public and private sector marketing, both what businesses want you to do and what the government wants. One major disadvantage we carry around as human beings is known as the Dunbar number. It's about 150, but this number is the limit of meaningful connections we can have, that we can track, where we can answer who someone is and how and where we know them from. Take a little bit of a look back to social engineering theory as it developed in the Cold War. There was this long FBI anti-activist program known as COINTELPRO, which was about infiltrating and subverting activist groups, but a number of these techniques they had have been adapted to internet use. Let's cover a few of them really quick. One of the oldest tools is known as forum sliding. This is burying inconvenient news, developments, or discussion by simply promoting other shit like Hollywood, gossip, celebrities, or this disaster, that disaster, or any other disaster other than the one you just don't want people talking all that much about or noticing. Back in the days of individual internet forums, this sort of control would take a concentrated effort for each individual board, discussion, everything. But now that social networks and platforms control so much of everything, you can just call home to the platform and give them instructions on, hey, we don't want people talking about this, let's trend this. Or you can bury it in sponsor content. You can bury it in all sorts of other things, because we all know that Sheen cares. Conversation shaping is interjecting ridicule, its efforts to force what the reasonable opinion is on something. Would they really do that to you? They care. It's basically a form of gaslighting by internet sock puppet, but just this isn't really what's happening. No one cares about this, but it's framed as this is a reasonable opinion by reasonable people. Controlled opposition is the promotion of people who are loyal to you to set the tone for the other side. So instead of addressing your actual opponents, you address your friend who is playing devil's advocate with you. And because they're up for this, have you ever thought about where all those high production value flat earth videos come from? And for a long time on forums that are monitored and controlled, there's been cases of these entrapment plots, like the death ray plots, the FBI agents ordering people to get fake bomb-making materials from other FBI agents, and terror plots intentionally concocted and written by the FBI that simply get stopped. The lone isolated individual is arrested, and everyone forgets. When it comes to text on the internet, if you haven't met them, if you don't know that's actually their account, that just makes anything you see typed out essentially worthless. The biggest problem facing human beings on the internet is verifying the humanity of the author of anything you come across, whether it's a comment, whether it's a post. We only can know so many people. We can only know of so many more people, and keeping all these relationships, who have we met versus who we haven't, it's a thing. It's a problem. With deepfakes continuing to advance, even video gets questionable. There's stock photo models who are entirely generated from computers. And let us not forget this whole thing where people are willing to do some acting for a buck. We can get green screens, we can get voice actors. There's all sorts of people advertising their service to endorse things for money. This is how most Olympians make their bucks. It's not from the Olympics, it's from selling Wheaties. But you can never doubt the temptation presented to people to burn their reputation for money, endorsing things or ideas in the short term. Let's look at a little bit of history to show how the internet's a bit deader than it used to be. Let's consider the Anonymous movement. More than a decade ago, they irreparably damaged the influence the Church of Scientology had in the entertainment industry. Thanks to Anonymous, Jason Beghe has been the lead star of Chicago PD, a series that's been on NBC for 9 seasons. He was a critic of Scientology. There was a time where critics of Scientology couldn't get work in Hollywood, but Anonymous changed that. Flash forward to the present day, and Anonymous announces this or that, a convenient label for the State Department to put on activist movements, color revolutions, to create the appearance of some sort of backing in a situation that contrasts from the Anonymous one in Bitcoin. Efforts by the United States government and its influence agents to make substantial changes to the protocol and set the precedent that they could make those changes was opposed by actual named individuals. The period between 2014 and 2017, this idea that it's not going away, and maybe though there's a way to tame it. In the course of losing all that, the people who wanted to make these changes, there were a number of patsies with names like Gavin, Mike, Two Mims. They all had in common that each proposal they burst onto the scene with what appeared to be a massive amount of support, but the slightest bit of investigation or pressing showed that there was nothing actually behind them, just a paper tiger, cardboard army of supporters, no actual meaning, no actual intent to follow them, which with each of these proposals led to disaster. Any actual humans caught following one of these proposals was led to their loss. We're very sorry for your loss. For a grave example of how the internet and human conversation has died, consider the U.S. election last year. We have two sides of the voting population in the U.S., and they're roughly equally divided, and for each side, the entire narrative presented by the other side is counterfactual. Whichever old guy you would have preferred to sit in the White House, there is about half of the U.S. population that holds the counterfactual narrative to be the holy truth of everything. This dead internet theory, it's no conspiracy at all. It's just how the users have let the internet unfold. There could have been other ways to do this. There could have been strong web of trust-based systems. There could be options, but instead, we chose to just be consumers. The internet for humans is pretty much dead now. We're all just accounts, and any account, whether it's got a person behind it or a bot, just the cost of telling the difference isn't that worthwhile. Please like and subscribe for more dubiously hot takes.